Welcome to Dutch Girl, Myrtle Beach. Crime has a ripple effect. It affects the entire community, not just the victim and the criminal. Crime destabilizes communities. It causes fear and mistrust. It often has a clear connection to ongoing tensions or mistrust present within the community and in the community's connection to the outside world. Crime is a sensitive topic because of the egregious abuse of human rights and liberties that it entails. Approaching crime and victims with sensitivity and with a willingness to tell the truth regardless of circumstances is what can allow healing to begin for communities impacted by traumatic events. These are the rules for this chat discussion. Do not harass, threaten, or do anything to another chatter or panel guest that is unwanted. This means do not attack their character, race, heritage. Do not dox. If you disagree with someone, respond to the subject, not the person. There is no place on this channel where hate speech will be tolerated. Please do not cause derision in the chat and disrupt the flow of chat in this live stream. This live stream is for adults only. That means 18 and over. Do not impersonate another chatter or a moderator on this channel. If you are caught, you will be permanently banned from this channel. Anyone coming in and harassing, doxing, or threatening my panel guest will be immediately banned from this channel. Anyone caught bashing the Dutch Girl Myrtle Beach moderators will be immediately timed out and banned from this channel. Engage with empathy in this live stream. Treat all other chat participants respectfully, even when you disagree. A heated argument does not lead to constructive discussion. Report harmful behavior. If a user is insulting others, making violent threats, or violating the chat rules, report them to a moderator rather than engaging in direct confrontation. The moderators will handle it. Stick to the facts. Use credible sources like news articles, police reports, and court documents. The goal is to inform, not to spread misinformation. Avoid speculation, especially in unsolved cases. Spreading unfounded theories can be highly disrespectful to victims and their families. It can also distract from ongoing investigations. Do not glorify criminals or violence. This includes refraining from expressing romantic or admiring sentiments towards perpetrators. Such glorification diminishes the victims and the severity of the crime. Focus on the social impact. Discussions can be more productive if they focus on systemic issues related to a case, such as failures in the criminal justice system or broader societal problems. My name is Duchess, and this is Dutch Girl Myrtle Beach. I'm from South Carolina. I'm a podcaster. I talk about true crime, corruption going on in South Carolina. I also make missing flyers for missing people all around the United States. I appreciate you being here. I hope you'll consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, hit that notification bell if you want to receive future updates on my live streams and videos. Make sure you got your notepads and your pens and your tinfoil hats. Buckle up, the Dutch bus is getting ready to leave the station.
You wanna know who I came with? You wanna know if we dangerous? You ain't hanging with no strangers. Do you wanna be famous? You just want the Lambo so you can go fast. You just want the money, man, you just want the cash. You just wanna know if we dangerous. Do you wanna be famous? Do you want the name, man? Do you wanna stress? Do you want the game? Are you gonna play your best? Do you want the paparazzi all at your events? Do you want the IRS checking on your texts? Do you wanna move like celebrity? Do you wanna do what they do on screen? Do you wanna rule over everything? Do you wanna do almost anything? All on the gram, all on the tweets, in your feelings, every week. Do you wanna ride with some dangerous? You ain't hanging with no strangers. Do you wanna be famous? You just want the Lambo so you can go fast. You just want the money, man, you just want the cash. You just wanna know if we dangerous. Do you wanna be famous? Do you wanna be happy or do you wanna be sad? Do you wanna be good or do you wanna be bad? ABCs or 1, 2, 3s, however you perceive them. Everything is dope, everything is a placebo. Leaking money, leaking money. Just cash around, everybody wants it from you. Wake up, take a picture, then you back online. Nobody keep it up like all the time. All on the gram, all on the tweets. In your feelings, every week. Do you wanna ride with some real things? Do you wanna slide on the real thing? You wanna know who I came with? You wanna know if we dangerous? You ain't hanging with no strangers. Do you wanna be famous? You just want the Lambo so you can go fast. You just want the money, man, you just want the cash. You just wanna know if we dangerous. Do you wanna be famous?
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. My name is Duchess, and this is Dutch Girl Myrtle Beach.
Warning. This episode contains content that may be disturbing or sensitive to listeners. Discretion is advised.
Can y'all hear me? Were y'all not able to hear me before? Can you hear me now? It might have booted me off when I ended my video. Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me now. I think it booted me whenever I ended my video. It must have yeeted me. It must have yeeted me off the daggone thing. Yeet yeet. It must have yeeted me right off the screen. Okay, good. Thank y'all for joining me. I'm sorry y'all did not hear anything that I said because apparently I yeeted myself right off of the screen. But I do appreciate y'all taking the time to just join me to talk about this very important case tonight. There's a lot of things going on all around YouTube. So I do appreciate everyone that has taken the time to just come over and support me for just a little bit. AJ's running a little bit late. She is on her way home from work, so she's going to be about 15-20 minutes late. So we're just going to talk about a couple of things before she gets here, and we take a look at this lawsuit because Mark Tinsley is being sued by WELDONBOYD. Now, Mark Tinsley was an attorney in the Murdaugh case that was on the that tried for the state against Murdaugh. But he is also representing Jennifer Spivey Foley, which is Scott Spivey's sister, in a civil lawsuit against WELDONBOYD. And now WELDONBOYD has apparently filed a lawsuit against Mark Tinsley. And we're going to take a look at exactly what all of this means tonight. So we're just waiting on AJ to get here before we jump right into that. So thank you, Lindsay, for being here. Thank you, Elizabeth, for being here. Thank you, Butterfly Kisses. Hey, babe, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you coming over to support. This case is local to the Duke and I. So we're passionate about talking about cases that are local to us here in Horry County, South Carolina. I encourage you guys to go over and check out my playlist under Crime, Corruption, and Case Files. You will find all of the live streams about Scott Spivey under that playlist. Please do go check those out if you are not familiar with this case. That will bring you up to speed on where we are in this case. And Butterfly Kisses, I did post some of those on my YouTube community wall, my bread. I've been baking bread for the past 2 days. I'm going to take some bread to the homeless shelter and down to the food bank. And then I also made some bread and gave some to my neighbors today. So I'm going to be dropping off some bread this week down at the homeless shelter for them. That's just one of the ways that I try to give back in my community. Hey, Michelle, thank you for being here. I looked in the chat and I saw you say that, and then I realized I had been yeeted off of my stream. So thank you for being here, Janice. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Tootie, I know you couldn't hear me, but I'm back. Hey, Cindy Caton, it's good to see you. Hey, Callie. Hope you're doing good. I hope everybody can hear me now. Hey, Nonsense. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Chico. Good to see you. Chico, I hope you're looking into that case I sent you from the Greensboro PD. That case is crazy. I appreciate you being willing to take a look at it. But that's what I've been doing for 2 days because people be doing crazy stuff out here. And listen, I'm just over here just trying to do things for my own community because people want to profess they know who I am and what I'm about, but really, I'm not worried about it. There's a lot of people that go hungry, and this is the season for Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful and I'm blessed, so therefore, the Duke and I try to pay that back to the community because there's a lot of people that are going without right now. So I'm just baking up a bunch of bread and taking it down to the shelter and out to the food bank because, any way that we can try to help support our community, that's what we want to do. If you're not familiar with this case, like I said, tonight we're going to be going over the lawsuit that WELDONBOYD has filed against attorney Mark Tinsley. Now, just to quickly recap this case, North Myrtle Beach businessman WELDONBOYD, who along with his friend Bradley Williams, shot and killed 33-year-old Scott Spivey. This happened back in September of 2023, but Weldon and Bradley were not charged in his murder. And now he is suing Mark Tinsley, the lawyer that is representing Scott Spivey's sister, Jennifer Spivey Foley. And for these past 2 years, Jennifer has fought for justice in her brother's death, which Weldon and Bradley have claimed to be in self-defense. Stand your ground. And when she was finally given her brother's case file, she shared it with the True Sunlight podcast, which is Liz Farrell and Mandy Matney. And she also shared it with some other people, and also with the Wall Street Journal and other local media agencies. Why? Because this case holds great public interest. And there are phone calls, as you guys remember me showing you before. There was video footage. If you go back and look at some of those other playlists, there is actually a piece of paper right here where Paul Vescovi, who was fired from Horry County PD, wrote on a piece of paper, "Act like a victim" on the camera. And he showed it to WELDONBOYD. No police officer should be telling someone who is a possible suspect in a homicide investigation to act like a victim. And here is a picture of that piece of paper that was taken from his body cam. Had Jennifer Spivey Foley never been given all of the information in this case, the public would have never heard about it, and it would have been swept under the rug. And that is why this is so important, because Scott Spivey deserves justice. And more importantly, this case involves police corruption, and the evidence continues to show that Horry County PD helped direct the investigation in Weldon's favor from the very beginning, because his friend, Brandon Strickland, who recused himself from his position with the Horry County PD, that's who Weldon called. And I'm going to play you a little clip that I have on my shorts of a 911 call of Weldon calling Brandon at home and asking him to come to the scene. It also has accusations of prosecutorial mishandling on the part of the 15th Judicial Circuit Solicitor's Office, that is Solicitor Jimmy Richardson, and the South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson, both who made sure not to ask too many questions. And it also involves very important question of what residents of South Carolina want their stand their ground law to look like. Is this a blank check to shoot at anything as long as you feel threatened? Is it enough to rely fully on the surviving party's account of what led to the shooting? How can people in our community feel safe living here? And how can anyone feel safe visiting a state where tourism is our main attraction here in Myrtle Beach? How can anyone feel safe visiting here where it's perfectly legal to chase someone down for 9.5 miles and follow them onto a side road and murder them when they step out of their vehicle to defend themselves? And of course, in our last live stream, AJ and I discussed how Alan Wilson recently assigned a special prosecutor to the case after months and months of public pressure. And of course, Mandy Matney, who is an incredible journalist. We love her. She is one of the reasons that we have the Hulu show, The Murdaugh Murders, because Mandy and Liz Farrell really helped people to re-examine whether there's enough evidence in a case, why people should be looking more in depth in these cases to make sure that law enforcement is doing their jobs, that people in high political places are not using their power to, change the case and hide evidence in their favor. Mandy Matney was one of the people in Scott Spivey's case that encouraged people to re-examine whether there's enough evidence to charge Boyd and Williams. And in the meantime, Weldon is suing Mark-Tinsley, and he is asking for declaratory and equitable relief. And we're going to talk all about that when AJ gets here. Hey, Kay Kanuga, it's good to see you. So, this is some of the things that we are going to talk about. And it's really important. It's really important looking at this complaint for declaratory and other equitable relief. Because this sounds like another frivolous proceeding motion, in my opinion. Because he just wants to silence people, And here you can see this is a picture of Weldon here in the middle, and to your right, well, that's his friend, Brandon Strickland. And here's another picture of Scott Spivey. You can see Scott right here, and here is Brandon Strickland. They were very good friends way before this incident. And unfortunately, we have the good old boy system here. And sometimes it's about who you know. So I appreciate that, Janice. Thank you for being here. So we're going to get started. I want to, just talk to you guys a little bit about this case and what it means. And hopefully AJ will be joining us soon. So Nonsense says, how long is this filing? Is it a huge one filled with junk? Well, I haven't actually seen the entire lawsuit yet. AJ's going to bring up the actual lawsuit for us when she gets here, and we're going to take a look at it. But I do have an article that I do want to share with you guys, so we are going to take a look at that real quick while we're waiting on her. Let me see if I can jump over here, and we'll take a look at what WPDE ABC News 15 has to say about this. WELDONBOYD sues South Carolina attorney over media strategy in the Spivey case. And this article came out on Tuesday, November the 4th. And the article reads, from Horry County, South Carolina, Weldon Boyd, the North Myrtle Beach businessman who officials said shot Scott Spivey, has sued the attorney working on behalf of the Spivey family. In the suit filed in the Horry County Court of Common Pleas, Boyd accuses Mark-Tinsley, the Spivey family attorney, of manipulating the narrative through use of media outlets. And here it says, plaintiff Weldon Boyd, hereafter Boyd, files this action seeking equitable relief, including but not limited to a declaratory judgment finding and determining that defendant Mark B. Tinsley, hereafter named Tinsley, has intentionally engaged in conduct prejudicial to the interest of justice by manufacturing, disseminating, and perpetuating a false narrative through manipulative use of media outlets. Boyd claims that Tinsley's actions harmed his ability to obtain a fair trial in any related civil and or criminal matter. And furthermore, Boyd said he is seeking the following: a declaratory judgment that Tinsley manufactured and disseminated and perpetuated a false narrative through these media outlets, and that Tinsley did so intentionally and solely for personal publicity and promotion, thereby resulting in foreseeable, permanent, prejudicial harm to Boyd, and that the declaratory judgment that Tinsley has intentionally and wrongfully prejudice the court of justice, and such that Boyd cannot receive a fair adjudication in the courts of this state in any related matter, and an award against Tinsley for cost incurred by Boyd in pursuing the relief sought herein. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Hey, Ashley Payne, it's good to see you. Hey, Rubber Ramada, thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Chico Corrupt Chronicle says, my daddy has always said, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I have to agree with your dad, because in the South, y'all, unfortunately, that is how it goes. Now, I want to play this short. If you guys have not already seen it, please do make sure you go watch it on my YouTube channel. But I'm going to play it for you guys here because I want you to listen to this clip that I made. I see it's got 976 views. And if you're able to hype any of these videos, more people need to see it. But make sure you listen very carefully, because these are clips from a 911 call that I put together. So I need you to get your ear pods, your headphones adjusted, because I want you to listen to this short of this clip of the 911 call that I put together, because some of the things that are said in this kind of tell you exactly where this case is going. And I see AJ's in the back, so let me bring her up before we play it. You got to connect your mic and cam, AJ. It's not connecting. You may have to go back out and connect that. Let's see if you got it on. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. All right. We're going to play this short real quick.
Let me just say, I truly apologize. I totally mistimed my route today, and I don't like just showing up late. So I just wanted to apologize to you.
It's okay. You don't owe me an apology. I understand traffic can be bad out there. So I'm just glad that you made it home safe, and I appreciate you joining us. I did kind of recap WPDE's. I just kind of read through the main gist of this. I'm going to play my short that I made with a few clips from the 911 call. And then I want us to review that lawsuit, if you have it, over the declaratory statement, so you can share your screen if you have it. But I do want us to listen to this short, because I want you to remember the things. And these have a few key points that we need to remember. And Nonsense says, traffic has been wild here. I got stuck in it for over an hour behind a crash on the 202 last night.
Oh, yep.
Yep. It is crazy.
Well, there was a motorcycle. I mean, he was up and walking, so he was fine, but he laid his bike down. So I guess that's what the whole backup was.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So we're going to play this short, and get your earbuds on, because you don't want to miss what these little clips in this particular short says.
I got people. I got a judge, a county judge. I've got Brandon with the SWAT team.
What's up, man?
Brandon, where are you at?
I'm at my house.
Can you come to Camp Swamp Road off of 9 like as fast as possible?
Yeah, what's wrong?
I had to shoot somebody.
What? Shoot somebody?
He held a gun at us. He ran us off the road. We stopped to try and get the stuff on the trailer because we were hauling a couch. He got out, pulled a gun, started shooting at us, and we had to shoot back.
All right, did you call 911?
Yeah, they're all here. And I've got witnesses that watched him run me off the road, that watched him hold the gun out the window. We have a picture of him holding the gun out the window, and then when he was in front of us, he got out the car, racked the slide, aimed it at us, and started shooting, and we shot back. And then when he got back in the car, we quit shooting, and then he started shooting again, and we having to shoot again.
All right, I got to be real careful with that, because it's in my jurisdiction, and we're an investigating agency, so I got to be careful that I'm not showing any. I
know that it's self-defense, and we got witnesses that are all saying it's self-defense. I'm a fucking nervous wreck, dude.
Says he must have been a pretty big dude, because he said he was roid. He was on roids real bad. He might have been having some roid rate.
Well, hopefully they do a top screen on him.
Yeah, they will. They will, because originally the coroner's, and this is all me and you talking. This isn't the county police talking to you. Okay.
Okay.
Originally they weren't even going to do an autopsy on the guy. I was like, then was like, no, y'all need to do one just to cover it in case like a civil suit or something.
It's just all these rumors. I mean, I'm still seeing people saying stuff, and it's just like, damn, y'all. I mean, it ain't like I went looking for that. You know, I pulled off the road. He was parked, and I mean, he basically ambushed us.
Well, don't tell Bradley you enjoyed that.
I had a damn blast, but.
Don't tell Bradley you enjoyed that, but he had a damn blast, y'all.
Can I point something out real quick, please?
Sure.
So I'm pretty sure all of y'all have heard the 911 calls. My biggest, with all the ones that you just played, I mean, it's not my biggest issue from the whole thing, but the ones you just played is the fact that he had the audacity to say, we pulled off the road he had parked and he basically ambushed us. No. You followed him for 9 miles. Get it right.
See the lies. Oh, there's witnesses, and they all say it's self-defense. See, he's telling his own narrative, but he's like, oh, but I got a friend. Let me call him at home. He's with the police department.
I got a judge.
That's what he said.
These people.
That's why I wanted to play this, because this right here, I'm telling you, this is so critical to this case. And don't think that Jimmy Richardson and Alan Wilson didn't hear these same phone calls. They did. And they still wanted to say this was a stand your ground situation.
Which is why I say South Carolina, they need to get on the same page, judges, because today in South Carolina, a man was continued to be held without bail because the officer agreed and the court said, no, this does not stand your ground. And the officer said, yeah, it's not stand your ground when you chase somebody and shoot them in the back. And they denied his stand your ground claim. That was the store owner.
Make it make sense. And, you know, we did a live stream where we talked about other cases of the stand your ground situation, because Alan Wilson is handing this case off to another solicitor out in Spartanburg County. I just want to see this family be able to get a fair shake. And now Weldon Boyd is coming after Mark Tinsley, and I can only imagine what this is going to look like. So
for those of you that were in the live the other night, I kept making the remark because it took everything in me. And I had just found out about it. And when I kept making the remark, or, you know, you just go and sue the person's attorney. Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, and here you can see, here is on the Horry County homepage of the 15th Judicial Circuit. Here's the case number, and you got a common pleas for relief by jury. It was filed 11/3. This is actually says 2025. It's cut off right here, but it's pending, and it is Weldon Boyd versus Mark B. Tinsley. A summons and complaint right here. So, do you have any of the information that goes along with this?
I do. Yeah,
I've seen the first page of the declaration, but
okay. So see, I'm not sure. Okay, what do you call a declaration? Because I call it a complaint, and I don't know. I know y'all use different words. Are you talking about the complaint itself?
Well, I think it's called a complaint for declaratory and other equitable relief.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
think
See,
is what the name of it is for the
yeah,
Court
I
of
didn't even
Common
get that
Pleas.
far. I don't even know what that means. I had to ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, this is the only page that I've seen of it right here.
Okay, that's what I have, and then I have the exhibits.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have the exhibits, but I did see this, and this right here, let me see if I can enlarge this so you guys can see that. We'll we'll look at this first.
And yes, it's Tiger Tinsley.
Yes. And this is it's got the case, Weldon Boyd versus Mark B. Tinsley. And of course, if we enlarge it, it says Tinsley did not let the truth get in the way of a good story. Plaintiff Weldon Boyd, hereafter Boyd, files this action seeking equitable relief, including but not limited to a declaratory judgment finding and determining that defendant Mark B. Tinsley, hereafter Tinsley, has intentionally engaged in conduct prejudicial to the interest of justice by manufacturing, disseminating, and perpetuating a false narrative through manipulative use of media outlets, which has permanently harmed Boyd's ability to obtain a fair trial in the courts of this state and in any related civil or criminal matter. Tinsley has done all acts in his individual capacity and for his own purposes, and not as a lawyer to further any client matter. Tinsley's acts have been done intentionally and solely to generate personal publicity for himself by engaging in self-promotion. Tinsley did not engage in the acts for any tactical reasons in any client matter or to assist in furtherance of the client matter, but for his own personal purposes of establishing and or increasing his celebrity status.
This has got to be the biggest joke.
I kid you not.
Okay, first of all, let me. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna let you finish because oh Lord have mercy. This
I
is
know,
crazy.
make it make sense. And
It doesn't.
you know, that this is the other thing that I needed to share in light of that. Liz Farrell, which I just adore her,
I do
from
too.
she decided that she was going to look up the Oxford English Dictionary and how it defines celebrity. And it says that it defines celebrity as the state or fact of being well known, widely discussed, or publicly esteemed. Personal fame or renown as manifested in and determined by public interest and media attention. See also down here, how to become famous in non-celebrity certified steps. And I just have to say that I personally do not think that he did this for celebrity status at all. But
Okay, let's really analyze how stupid this sounds. First of all, Mark Tinsley became well known. I don't even live on that side of the world, and I knew who he was from the case with Mallory. I can't think of the last name.
Beach.
Yeah. So he was known through that. I mean, it's not like he goes out. I haven't seen not one thing posted from him in any group, in any comment, anything. So I don't understand, I guess, like, because I mean, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to get the court to say basically that this is already biased, so they don't hold any type of future hearing, so he can't be future charged. But fair trial, what are you worried about? Thought you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he ambushed you, right?
I can't make it make sense. And I just feel like that this is really just leaping to these large conclusions about what is really happening here. I don't know. I can't even wrap my mind around it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. I see all the new people coming in. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Hey, Pamela, Roxy, Kathy, Lola. It's good to see you guys. Mikazador de Ardillas. It's good to see you. Hey, Tia Dash. Welcome to the Dutch Bus. Thank you so much for joining. It's good to see you, love. This case just has me so confused. So do you have the exhibits? Because that's something that I'm really anxious to see, but I've not been able to get my hands put on. Tia, thank you so much for joining.
It blows my mind.
Absolutely.
Do you want me to send them to you on Facebook Messenger?
You can, or you can share your screen if you want to.
Okay. And when I share my screen, the first one that I'm going to show, I didn't make it fuzzy like this. This is how it was downloaded because this is how they filed it.
I love your name. You said that good. My name is Hunter of Squirrels, aka my dog. Look at that pretty baby.
Oh,
so sweet. I hope you've been well, Tia. It's good to see you. Okay, I'm going to let you pull that up, but real quick.
I got it right here. Go ahead.
Okay. Real quick, I do want to let you guys know a quick update. I've had a lot of people messaging me, and I did post this on my community wall, but I wanted to just give you guys a very quick update while I'm thinking about it, because I did have some people ask me, and when I get it's really not enough for me to do an entire live stream on. It was just a very, very, very sad case. And so I just wanted to, while we're here, I just wanted to give the people that are here a very quick update, because I was following a case out of Charleston, which a college student from the College of Charleston had gone missing, Owen Kinney. And he went missing on Halloween night, and he was last seen crossing the Ravenel Bridge. And for all of my South Carolina people, y'all know that bridge is 2.5 miles long, and it crosses over the Cooper River. And of course, I had a bad feeling about it. But I did get notified today that Owen Kinney, the 19-year-old from the College of Charleston, he's originally from New Jersey. The police stated after they reviewed video evidence from the bridge, they confirmed through direct observation that at 3:49 a.m. on October 31st, Owen took his own life after walking to the Ravenel Bridge pedestrian walkway, and I think he jumped off the bridge.
And how old was this baby? 19?
19. He was from New Jersey, and he was here. He was attending college at the College of Charleston, which is an astute private institution. And it really broke my heart. So they have been sending down divers and boats, and unfortunately, according to the camera footage that they got off of the bridge, this young man took his own life. And it just really broke my heart, because I cannot imagine what his family is going through right now. Again, he is from New Jersey, and this is just very, very, very heartbreaking to hear. And I really don't know exactly what, was going on with him. I just wanted to extend my condolences to his friends and his family. He is originally from Tinton Falls, New Jersey. And, the Cooper River Bridge, the Ravenel Bridge is an enormous bridge. It has a huge pedestrian walkway, but that bridge is 2.5 miles long.
And that's why I will never know what that bridge looks like. I don't know. No.
You are going to come down here, and I'm going to take you across that bridge. Yes.
Did you
Yes.
put up this morning? The hell you are.
You need to come see it. Listen, it's really beautiful, but it really made me so sad
I
to
can't
know
imagine this kid
that
was
this
going. He felt
that
the type
this
of way.
situation has now turned into a recovery mission, and the water is very, very fast in the Cooper River, because that empties out into the ocean. And I have not heard that they have been able to actually recover him yet. But I just wanted to extend my condolences to his family and friends, because I cannot imagine what uh, what they're actually going through right now. And I know that the College of Charleston, the campus, has sent out their condolences. There's a lot of his friends and people that knew him that are just very, very sad. A lot of people going through, you know, a terrible time with this. And just remember, guys, that this is a real case involving a real family living through an unimaginable pain, and they deserve compassion and privacy and support from everyone. And that is why I just wanted to make sure that I gave this update. And just remember that if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or in a crisis, please call or text free. There is a suicide crisis lifeline at 988 that offers support 24 hours a day. And, if you know somebody that is in need, reach out to them. He's not that far from you, Tia. Oh, no, my goodness. Well, I just wanted to give you guys that quick update, because I was waiting to see if they had located him yet. And so far, from what I'm seeing, they have not. But I wanted to make sure to let you guys know that, because I was getting a lot of messages to see if I had heard anything. So Kay Kanuga says, that's heartbreaking. I went to College of Charleston my first 2 years of uni before transferring to SCAD and the ATL. Charleston holds a place in my heart. Kay Kanuga, College of Charleston it's very nice. And Charleston is a beautiful town. I mean, that's only just a couple of hours from where I live. It's just heartbreaking. So, and you're about an hour from his hometown? Oh, wow. Well, I just wanted to share that with you. So thank you for allowing me to share that with you guys. If you happen to see my community wall post about that, if you could please share it, I would appreciate it. And just remember, compassion and kindness. Please don't harass his family or anything like that.
Which
Please just...
reminds me, have you seen the craziness, Duchess, with them sending the Idaho images to those kids' families?
Yes.
That is insane to me. I don't understand. I cannot fathom how one can be so. Is it that they have no conscience, or they just don't even recognize or acknowledge a conscience?
I just don't think they care, sadly. And I don't know. And of course,
hope that if I ever started being like that you would completely cut me off, not even allow me as a guest, not allow me as a person in the chat, nothing.
Well, we would probably have a private conversation first. I would have to call you on the phone and be like, AJ,
if I've done something like that, I don't even expect a conversation, because I don't expect any respect. I mean, like, who does that?
You're welcome, Tia. I agree. So But I just wanted to give you guys the update. I'm sorry to like segue off into that, but I did because I had just gotten 2 more messages about it while I was live. So I just thought, well, maybe they'll watch and they'll be able to see the update and know that I posted on my community wall so that they would be able to see that. And I did also see, I've worked with Carolina Emergency Response on a couple of other cases locally. They are here local in the Carolinas, and I did see that the Carolina Emergency Response Team was contacted by DEEMI Search and Rescue, and they are actually going to deploy multiple boats and air assets to assist in the Charleston Harbor to help bring Owen home to his family. So there are a bunch of good guys out there working on these cases, and I do hope that this family can get some type of closure, even though it won't make the pain go away. They deserve to have that closure. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. I'm sure that they would appreciate it. So. And Elizabeth, I did share him. Yes, I did share him also on my community wall. The young man that was missing from Gastonia. I believe his name is Louis Tario, 16 years old, driving his sister's car. Yes, I did see that he left messages of self-harm also, and that is also on my community wall if anyone wants to go over there and share it. And it's also on my Facebook page. If you guys follow me over there on Duchess Discussions, it is over there as well. So, and I'll link my Facebook in here as well if you guys want to follow me over there. Okay, so if you want to share your screen, we can take a look.
This first piece of evidence that was submitted, let me just tell you, y'all might have seen it somewhere, but I mean, I've been on this case since it happened, and I have never seen this before. So this is kind of interesting.
You're welcome, Laughing Heart. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Oh. My alarm. Okay. So share screen. Is it? Oh. Allow. Okay. I don't even know. Okay. Well, first, let me say he submitted like 5 pieces of evidence to back up his claim against Tinsley. It's what I don't understand is why every piece is nothing more than the complaint. You have the whole complaint, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't have the whole complaint. I only got the first page, and that was it.
Okay. Well, this is the first page of I guess we'll start there. This is the first page of the complaint. The absolute ridiculousness, I guess you could call it. Basically, that's the first page. And then he goes on to saying.
That was the one that I had, was this page right here.
Okay.
So I read that.
Okay. So he said, you want to read this or you want me to read it?
Well, I don't even know if I can see that with my eyeballs. Hang on. Let me see if I can get to it on my phone. I could probably read it better on my phone. Hang on. Let me get over here. Okay. So this says Tinsley's intentional misconduct has directly harmed Boyd's ability to obtain a fair trial in any related civil or criminal matter, a right guaranteed to Boyd and protected by law. Tinsley engaged in the acts which form the basis of this action for purposes of self-promotion and self-aggrandizement to establish and or further celebrity status for himself among the masses, all of which acts that have directly and proximately harmed Boyd. Boyd expressly waives any claim of damages against Tinsley and does not seek an award of actual or punitive damages against Tinsley and seeks equitable relief only. Public policy justifies the equitable relief sought in this action. All relief requested herein is within the equity jurisdiction of this court to award in connection with the judgment sought in this action with legal claims expressly waived by Boyd in favor of the equitable relief sought. Accordingly, Boyd seeks an order of this court awarding declaratory judgment against Tinsley following a determination by a jury of relevant facts as follows. A. Declaratory judgment that Tinsley manufactured, disseminated, and perpetuated a false narrative through manipulative use of media outlets, and that Tinsley did so intentionally and solely for personal publicity and promotion, thereby resulting in foreseeable, permanent, prejudicial harm to Boyd. B. Declaratory judgment that Tinsley has intentionally and wrongfully prejudiced the court of justice and such that Boyd cannot receive a fair adjudication in the courts of this state in any related matter. And C, an award against Tinsley for cost incurred by Boyd in pursuing the relief sought herein.
Okay. So then it's got people, y'all know how jurisdiction stuff works. And here's my thing. What I take from that, and this is just my opinion, I take that he's not suing him for like a set amount of money or a judgment award from, to gain property, finance, or anything like that, except for then
Right.
at the very, very end, it says something completely different. An award against Tinsley for costs, that has to be financial.
Well, right. He wants his money back for having to hire an attorney to go after Tinsley. He wants, he wants, right.
Maybe
He wants,
it different then.
that's what it is. He wants to be reimbursed for any cost to his attorney. He doesn't want to have to pay for it. He wants Tinsley to have to pay for any cost that he had to incur.
This portion,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So then
Now we got that out of the way. I was like, what in the world?
yes, that's exactly what that means. So,
Okay,
and then
the rest of it, I take it as he's saying that none of this would have happened. None of this would have led to court filing against him had Tinsley not supposedly initiated it or placed a false narrative. Is that what everybody else gets from this?
right.
Okay, well, now here's my question. How in the hell does that work? Because Tinsley didn't just pop up one day and say, oh, hey, let me file this against this man on behalf. That means the family went searching for an attorney and they chose the best. It is his legal duty, once he is retained, to put the information out there. He has not made any news broadcast saying, oh, I'm going to go after this man. No. And in fact, from my understanding, this is the first case he has ever taken on that had already been declared to stand your ground. So what the hell is Boyd doing?
Hey, Betty Boop, it's good to see you. Betty Boop wants to know, who is Weldon's attorney?
Well, that's a good question.
It should say it at the top, I believe.
I don't say it at the top of this one. See, it just says Weldon Boyd. See, that's what I didn't understand. Did he? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yes, it does. It says it right here. And I don't think this is the same attorneys that are representing him wait a minute.
Doesn't that say Disa Ballard?
Yeah. So I don't think that this is even the same attorneys. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the same attorneys representing him in the case. I thought it was a guy that was also kind of known. That's weird.
That is weird. Hey, Tara Boom.
But what's even more weird is this right here is his exhibits. This is his proof that Tinsley did all this. And it is literally nothing more than the transcripts of the 911 calls. What in the Sam hell does that have to do with Mark Tinsley? Because he is not the one that released these 911 calls. The son released these 911 calls. Tinsley wasn't even hired yet. He doesn't even live right there. And that is literally all his evidence is.
Wow.
It's the audio taken and put into words, except for one piece. And I'll create a link to these so you guys can look at them, because I promise you it's nothing more.
That would be great.
Yeah, it's nothing more than the 911 calls, except for one piece. And to be honest, I don't even know what this piece is. It's weird. I guess it's some type of interview. But this is where it gets interesting. So basically, yeah, that's actually, you know what, Duchess, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send this to you on your side, because I don't understand really how that works. So I'm gonna send this to you on Facebook and let you read it.
Okay. All right. Well, you can stop sharing your screen.
Okay, I gotta figure out how. Wait,
There you go.
let you read. This is the piece that I've never seen before. So I'm confused on when did this interview happen, and
who is the person in the interview?
Catherine Campbell, and I believe that she might be the person that pulled over, that you see the truck in the videos that they have showed. I believe that that's who that is, but don't quote me on that, because I am absolutely not positive. You should have it now.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing is interesting, because it's what really blows my mind is her story. I don't even see why he put this as evidence, because it really don't help him. So I just sent it to you.
Okay. Let me share my screen. All right, y'all, buckle up and get your seatbelts on and your tinfoil hats, because we're fixing to go into uncharted territory, y'all. Make sure you go over there and hit the like button, because I don't know what's fixing to happen. Oh, my heavens. Okay. So we've got this Exhibit D. Okay. This is Jennifer Spivey Foley as personal representative of the estate of Scott Ryan Spivey, plaintiff, versus Charles Weldon Boyd and Kenneth Williams, defendants in this case. And here is this interview, Catherine Campbell interview. And it looks like that come from an MP4 file. Interview room 1. All right, let's see. So the officer says, "Just have a seat right there, Miss Campbell, please." And Miss Campbell says, "Okay, I can give you a timeline of everything too." And the officer says, "Okay." And Miss Campbell says, "Because I've got it kind of registered with the phone. Let me get to that day, okay?" And then here on line 12, officer says, "All right, let me get a couple of things here real quick." And Miss Campbell says, "Sure." And officer number 1 says, "I know we spoke a bit briefly on the phone." And Miss Campbell says, "Yes, sir." And officer number 1 says, "Is it Catherine with a C or a K?" Miss Campbell says, "With a C." And he said, "See, I had that wrong." Miss Campbell said, "It's okay. It's all right. And it's like soup. It's like the soup, Campbell, CAMPB." He said, "Oh, Campbell." And she said, "Yes, Bell, BELL, and spells it." And then officer 1 said, "All right. And what's your birthday, Miss Campbell?" 9967. "And what's your address?" And of course, there's her address. She lives out in Longs. And we're not going to get into all the this and
I was
that.
going to black that out But I figured if I can download it, anybody else can go download it. But I don't think we need to spend any time reading through.
No.
But yeah, I agree with you.
All right. So apparently her husband calls. So there's going to have to. She says that she can just call him back because he's in the mountains, and so apparently they get off the phone, and she talks to him for a second. So we get down here, and it says, Officer 1 said, "All right, so," and Miss Campbell says, "So about 5:49, I was talking to my husband on the phone, and while I was talking to him, I was driving through. When I got to Myrtle West is when I saw this white truck pull over to the side. And like I said," and Officer 1 says, "And the white truck, do you remember what? Can you describe it to me, what it looked like?" And Miss Campbell said, it was, I'm not good with trucks. It was like a work truck, like my husband has, a Dodge 250. So it was one of those bigger trucks. It was white. Officer 1 says, newer or older. Miss Campbell says, middle, like it was probably about 10 years, maybe 5 to 10 years or so. Officer 1, manufacturer, brand, or anything like that. Miss Campbell says, no, I can't tell you that. I just know it was white, and it was a big work type truck of thing. Like he's got a Dodge Ram. And he had when this time I couldn't see, but when I passed him, there was like a couch or something on the back of this and some work stuff, because it looked like somebody had been moving or working. Hey, Aries. Officer 1, inaudible, you pointing to a trailer drawing? And Miss Campbell says, yes. Yeah, that's trailer, yeah. That was inaudible. He was pulling. But anyway, saw that car pull over to the front. Then I told my husband at that time, they're going to block the road. I'm never going to get out of here on Highway 9. There were 2 cars that were kind of ahead of me. There was this white beat up car, and this was like a light colored car. I want to say I think it was white or gray or something. Okay, this is not a lot of specific information. Okay, this is just
You don't even know the half. And now that you're going through this,
oh
now
my
that you're
gosh.
actually reading it, now I'm beginning to think, no, this is not the nice couple. This is not the one that pulled over that's in the SUV, because her husband was with her. So I'm not even sure what is going on with all this. But let me tell you what I think is going on. But,
this is, I
see,
mean,
I don't want to say the wrong thing, but to me, it sounds like she can't remember what she's been prepped to say. But I don't want to, I don't know. I don't know. That's weird, because there wasn't no white beat up car. I got a video, and there was no white beat up car.
I know.
None.
All right. So she says, I want to say I think it was white or gray or something. This is very broad. But they were quite a ways ahead of me. The white car, when I got about here.
So I assume she's pointing to maps or something.
Right. The white car stopped. And that's when I started complaining. 4 minutes and 52 seconds. They have this highlighted here, this timestamp. Officer number 1. The white car was going toward number 9. Miss Campbell says, yeah, it was going toward 9. And it was the beat up car, and it just stopped. It just like stopped right there. And I thought this SUV was going to try to squeeze between them. But because I was, like I said, I was complaining to John the whole time. I was like, they're going to block us in and I'm going to have to go through. I need to try to get out of here. This is when I got to this part of the road. That's when I saw this man in the wife beater get out of his vehicle. And when he got like the truck is there, so she must be pointing to something. He got out of his vehicle and he stood like at this truck.
Okay, can I stop you right there, Duchess?
Yes.
Because now I'm really bothered. You just read a statement that said that the white car was supposedly going towards Highway 9. Correct?
I'm so confused by
Me the foolishness too. Because the only way that is possible is if we go back and exactly what I said before, that white car that she's referring to is going to be that Nissan Altima. And I've been saying that Nissan Altima drove through that scene because on that CAD report, she specifically says, I'm going back and turning around because you told me to, even though the operator never told her to do any of that. But still.
But then she ends up back at the scene.
Right.
After she says she turns around, then she ends up back at the scene. And I'm like, how do you end up back at the scene?
Right. I pointed out in that video where that cop was talking, the same one where he wrote that note. I said, where's that Altima? Because it was not there. And now this lady's talking about the car was going toward 9. And then she goes immediately to talking about Scott getting out of his truck. So that tells me that she's talking about their own camp swamp, whatever it's called. And that white car is going towards 9. That means that car is on Camp Swamp Road too, because that's where Scott got out. And that's the only way she would have been able to see he was in a wife beater.
And why didn't she just say Camp Swamp Road?
Right.
If she lives here, why isn't she given more specific information? She's all over the place.
See, the only reason I'm not going hard right now is because I'm not sure which one she is. And I know there's one that is definitely keeps in contact with Scott's family. And I don't want to say anything disrespectful because this could be something as simple as her just wanting to basically be nonchalant and give minimal information, which is what's being stated here.
Right.
Or this could be the other person, because the other person that was supposed to get subpoenaed, I already caught her in a lie and I went ham on her because she tried to say that there was one car in front of her and then that Weldon was right beside her. And then when I go and pull all the vehicles she owns, and then she claims which one of those she owns, and I go and show the video, now all of a sudden she's like, oh, that video is fake. It's from the fireworks stand, lady. It ain't fake. It's as real as it gets.
Yeah. All right. So let's see if we can reel this back in. She sees him get out of the vehicle in his wife beater. She's talking about Scott Spivey. So he got out of his vehicle and he stood like this at the truck. So apparently she's showing the officer what he's standing like. And he was shouting. It looked like he was shouting at the truck. Okay, that's not very specific. Is he shouting at his truck? Is he shouting at Weldon's truck? I couldn't tell.
They said that when the other witness that was there, right there in between the crossfire, said that when Scott got out of his truck, the slide on his gun was locked back, and that he screamed at Weldon, "Stop effing following me." So I'm assuming she's talking about when he screamed that to Weldon.
Yeah, but she needs to specify. If you're telling a law enforcement officer something that's happening during the commission of a supposed crime, this is not the way to do it. This is an example of what not to do, y'all. Like, have your story together, what you're going to say. And don't let it sound like this when they type it out, because it's hard to really follow what's going on here. Okay, so she said, I couldn't tell he was shouting until I got up here by Honey Jar.
That's now I'm 10 ways confused. Where the hell is Honey Jar? Because Scott only got out of his vehicle one time, and that was right there turning onto Camp Swamp Road. I am so confused.
Am I going to have to pull up Google Maps? Oh my Lord, hang
Where
on.
does anybody know where Honey Jar is?
I live here, and I am telling you right now, I am going to have to pull this up because I need to get more. I need more information than what this lady is giving me in this statement.
Because I
Hey,
know
Beach
there's no
Life.
buildings or like, it's not a restaurant or gas station, nothing right there on the corner of Camp Swamp.
Okay, here we go. No, I don't want a new map. I just want you to take me to Google Earth. Camp Swamp Road. Ah, here we go. All right, hang on a second here. I'm going to have to share.
Okay.
No, when I share my entire screen, that's when you echo. So we can't do that. Hang on.
Oh, I'll mute. Go ahead. Because I see where it's at.
All right, so let me put in Honey Jar. No, wait a minute.
Can you make it bigger?
Yeah, let me type this in. Okay, that takes me to Honey Jar Way. Honey Jar Way is way past Camp Swamp.
I rest my case. Very much.
That don't even make sense because, listen, this right here, do y'all see my icon, my little mouse? This is where Weldon was pulled over. He pulls off number 9 and makes a right on Camp Swamp Road right here. There is nothing around here called the Honey Jar except for way on down number 9 is Honey Jar Way out in some neighborhood. Can you make that make sense? What does Honey Jar have to do with it? Hey, Fuzzy Puff. Wait, are we kidding right now?
Anybody that wants to can go pull it up from the court system themselves. That's exactly what it says. Court system themselves. That's exactly what it says.
Okay, hang on. All right, so here's the Highway 9 Camp Swamp Road right here. I was on the other end. Yeah, because there's that new development. So he'd have been coming, because remember, he's coming all the way up through here. Here's the huge intersection. He'd make a right, and he'd be right down here. So is Honey Jar, does that mean this street? So it is kind of near this neighborhood right here.
Okay, but he was literally 20 feet off the turn.
I know, he was right here where this little patch is.
So how did she get up by Honey Jar?
He would have been right here. He literally turned and then stopped right here.
Yep.
Honey Jar is all the way down here.
Honey Jar's all where that girl turned around though. That's in my opinion.
Yeah, Honey Jar is off Camp Swamp Road, but where he pulled over, do you see this dirt pad on the screen? That's where Scott Spivey pulled over. So I'm not understanding why she's referencing Honey
No,
Jar,
no.
because
It
that's
was
on down this road.
and this
That's
is
all
his
she did.
evidence to try to sue
Okay,
Timmy. And this is his evidence
now how
to try
is
to
she
sue
going to tell he
Timmy.
was shouting until she got up here by Honey Jar? How in the world does she tell that he's shouting and she's all the I'm so confused. Well, Kay Kanuga, this lawsuit was just filed, so I don't know if it's going to matter. This case was just filed on the 3rd of November against the attorney Mark Tinsley. I mean, I'm assuming that Weldon's attorney is using this to try to bolster Weldon's statement, to make Weldon look like he's the good guy. That's what this is for. Yeah, I know there's an echo, Chico, and it's because I'm sharing this Google Earth. I just wanted you guys to see. I wanted you guys to be able to see where the honey jar was, because if she heard him, she didn't hear him yelling until she got to the honey jar. That's still not that close. And there's all those trees in the way. He's literally not even 20 feet off of Highway 9.
I don't. Here's my.
It is a mess. It is a whole.
It
It's a
is.
whole mess.
Because
I'm not.
From the time they turn on that road on the 911 call until the time the first shot is fired, she wouldn't even have had time if she had passed him to make it to Honey Jar. The shots were already being fired. So how could she have heard him yell?
Fuzzy Puff, I understand. And listen, I'm really having a difficult time. I feel like they're going to have a heyday with this in court. I cannot wait for this to happen, because I'm here for it. Okay, so she couldn't tell he was even shouting until she got up here by Honey Jar. Then just past that, he lifted his arm, just like some kind of movie. Do you see why this is important? Do y'all remember where I showed you Honey Jar was and where I showed you Scott Spivey's vehicle was when he pulled over?
She wouldn't have been able to see him lift
How
his
was
arm.
she going to see that from all the way up at Honey Jar? Did you see all them trees and swamps in between Honey Jar's entrance and where Scott Spivey's vehicle was?
Not just that, but his truck and the truck door would have blocked her from seeing that.
Exactly. She would have had to be on the number 9 side of coming from Highway 9 down Camp Swamp to see all of that happen. So
Right.
somebody's not, this account does not, the math is not mathing for me.
Yeah. So filing this, in my opinion, just made it look even worse for him.
So
Because
she's
this right here
on
being
the
evidence of
opposite
this.
side, way up the street, and she sees him lift his arm and then shot. Boom. By the time the second shot hit, I was screaming. And I was here to him when the second shot went off. Okay, hold please. Hold please. Ma'am. Objection. I guarantee that this does not add up. Because how is she going to see him if he's standing in front of his door, raise his gun, and she knows that it's him shooting? How? Because you wouldn't be able to see it coming from Honey Pot or Honey Jar, whatever, because she's on the wrong side. But then she continues to drive toward him, and that's when objection. This doesn't even make it, ma'am. And let me just go back. I'm gonna have to read it again, y'all, because I'm having confusion here. I couldn't tell he was shouting till I got up here by Honey Jar. Then just past that, he lifted his arm, just like some kind of movie. Just lifted his arm and then shot, boom. And by the time the second shot hit, I was screaming. And I was here to him when the second shot went off. And I was probably like here, and she's pointing on a map so we can't see it, when two other shots went off. But see, here's the thing.
She's such a fucking liar.
There was only one shell. And they did look, and it looked like that Scott only made one shot, and he shot into the back of his truck.
It actually is what happened is Scott was hunkered down because they were unloading two full 40 round or 40 Glock clips into him. And he tried, I think, in my opinion, he just said, well, let me try and at least get off one shot. And you see the shot protrudes through the tailgate out towards him, and it didn't even hit Weldon's truck.
And we know she ain't coming from Highway 9 because look at this right here. And by that time, I had floored it. And I about to put that car on two wheels as I turned onto Highway 9. Hoping to hell I didn't get hit. She was coming down Camp Swamp Road the opposite way.
There it is there. So yeah, this is not the couple in the SUV. This is not the nice couple, because I was starting to really trip. That's not who this is. I'm glad you just read that, because you know what? She's full of shit, because she wouldn't have been able to. She couldn't have passed Scott. She couldn't have. She's lying.
None of this makes any sense, y'all. Okay.
That means she would have had to went past Scott, who was in the middle of having two full clips, both 40 round or 40 mag gun or 9 millimeters, whatever the hell they had. I'm so mad right now. So you tell me that you hear the first shot, you hear the second shot, and instead of backing your damn car up,
and then two other shots. Where's the 40 shots?
You go through it?
Where's the two clips? Where's the 40 shots that were shot at Scott? How come she doesn't mention that? But she hears Scott shooting 4 shots, which didn't happen. The cop said he did get off one shot that he shot, and it looks like that according to the shot, his gun, that bullet went into the back of his truck. It never even went anywhere, but they unloaded 40 shots. And she doesn't say anything about that. Put a 1 in the chat if you are picking up what I'm putting down. Or put a 2 in the chat if you believe that this woman knows what she's talking about. Because I don't know what she's smoking, but I'm not smoking what she's smoking, because I can't even put this. This don't even make sense. How are you going to see somebody and know that it's Scott shooting if you can't even see him because he's standing in front of his truck?
And which one of the callers of here's what I want to know. Who is she? Which one of the callers is she? Because out of the whole thing, only one call to 911 besides Weldon's came in before the shooting happened, and we know who that was. And then out of that, the ones afterwards, there was only one other female caller, and she didn't even stay on the phone more than maybe 5 seconds.
So then it says, and then I calmed. I told my husband I have to call him. I have to call 911. I called 911 here at 5:59 and gave them exactly what the man was wearing as I saw it. Because being a paramedic,
There's
Oh my.
absolutely
Stop
no
it.
911 call that tells the description of what anybody is wearing. If I am wrong, please let me know right now because I have not heard it. Not
Me
one
either. I have
that
not heard
tells a
any
description.
911 call
And
with
we
that.
have the actual recordings. We can hear both sides of the conversation, and there ain't a phone call yet that describes what anybody is wearing. What the hell is this?
Because being a paramedic, you just see things. Oh, Lord. And said that the man had fired 4 shots. This man I never, from here to here, I never saw him get out of the vehicle. I was afraid of catching a bullet here, but he would have had to shoot through his windshield. Ma'am, he did.
No. You're I almost thought that too. But let me
Well,
explain
but I
something.
think because Weldon did shoot
Wait.
through his windshield.
Right, boy did, but that's not who she's talking about. And she just screwed up. Think about it, Duchess. We know that she
Lord.
was coming from Honey Jar towards 9, right? By her own admission.
Yes.
The only windshield she would have been able to see, unless she got right up on him, would have been Scott's. She says,
Yeah,
I
because she's
thought he
coming
was
from
gonna
that
shoot
direction.
me. Right. She said, I thought I was going to end up catching a bullet, meaning she thought she was going to be shot, but he would have had to shoot through his windshield if he was shooting in this direction, which she's saying in my direction of where she was. That's Scott she's talking about.
Damn, I think
Because we all know Weldon did shoot through his windshield every single shot.
this is crazy. I can't even believe
So
that this
which
is
one is
submitted
it?
as an exhibit.
She never seen him get out of his vehicle? Or, I mean, it can only be one or the other because it's not what she's claiming above. And if she is talking about Weldon, how did you not see him? How do you know if he ever got out of his vehicle? You were coming from the damn opposite direction.
Lola says none. Catherine Campbell is lying. Lola. That's the comment of the day right there. So she goes on to say, because he never got out of the vehicle, he never hung out. He just now I'm pausing because she's pausing. I couldn't see who was in the vehicle, but no one got out of the vehicle. This black SUV was right on this guy's ass. So he couldn't even back out.
Stop.
Oh.
What black SUV, first of all? Because there
was
was no black SUV involved.
Exactly.
There was a gray, what are they? The trucks that look like cars or cars that look like, you know what I'm talking about? The little trucks. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah. And whose ass was he on? Because the only dark gray vehicle that she's thinking was SUV was a truck, and he was going the same way that she was going, and the guys were facing the opposite way. So does she mean he was on his windshield? Because he could have been on his ass.
This doesn't. Woo.
It's a
I
lie.
was not prepared for this.
It's all a damn lie. And here's my thing. I don't know, to be honest, and I would not be surprised, and I don't care who agrees, but I'm not going to go too hard on her because the bottom line is we know the cops in this case were crooked as a damn jaybird, and who's to say they didn't change the wording up?
Okay, and then it says, so the officer asked her here, okay, this is a black SUV, question mark, so he must be pointing to something. Then they cut the rest of it out because then it jumps to timestamp 7:20.
Oh, wait, what's the timestamp before? Wait.
The timestamp before was 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
Okay. Well, maybe she just talked slow. Maybe it just took her 3 minutes to explain that.
I don't know.
I ain't buying none of it though.
So then Miss Campbell says, and he couldn't. This guy couldn't get out. And that white car was here until the shooting started. And then the white car ended up here around the corner after the shooting started.
I rest my case. I told y'all from the damn jump that damn girl was on, that she was not there. She did not see the action. She was coming to they called that damn girl. Guarantee it. That's what's going to come out. They called her to be a witness. She didn't see that shit. Put that statement right there with the stuff that we already seen from the video. She's a damn liar.
So the white car ended up here around the corner after the shooting started. It's weird, but it almost is like they blocked him in. And then the officer says, okay. And then Miss Campbell said, but he couldn't. He was too, and he could have been tailgating. I don't know what happened before this. The guy was very close to this. This trailer, when it turned over and parked, pulled over. But like I said, I never saw this guy get out. That's what made me think she was talking about Weldon. Because, see, she's talking about the trailer.
You're right.
The guy never got out. And then she said, so here's the weird thing. I call, make the 911 call. I get out of my vehicle. I walk around. I call my husband, say I'm fine. I get back on Highway 9 and I see like there's activity. It looks like, I don't know if someone was arresting them or something, but before the sirens even showed up, it looked like somebody had them in custody or something, because there were people in the white truck bent over the seats. When I got, this is news to me.
Me too. That's why I said I've never seen this before, and it's got to be and I'm like I said, I don't want to go too hard because I would hate to find out that this lady comes back. Maybe she's somebody with dementia. I don't know who this is. If she has dementia or if something's going on, I don't want to be like that.
I don't know who it is either.
Somebody just saying this as a normal person, honey, you got your few cans short of a 6-pack.
So then she says, when I made this turn, I called my girlfriend and said, oh my God, they shot. Here, so 6:12, I'm in her driveway. She doesn't answer. By the time I get back up here to see if I could talk to this officer that was on scene, oh, my husband said, don't, just go the next day. They had moved this truck to this area, and this was back here. So I'm assuming she's pointing to the map again. I don't know why that was that way, but they had moved the vehicles around.
Holy shit.
My God.
Oh my God. So here's what's going on now. She just busted them. Because do you guys remember that there's like 5 hours of police footage, body cam footage missing? That's because they moved the damn trucks to rearrange the evidence. I don't know who Weldon thinks he is or who's more stupid, because she just sunk his ship.
Where the black truck was now in front and the white truck and the trailer were behind.
See?
I went here and then Officer 1 says, was this SUV still here? And Miss Campbell said no. Officer 1 said, okay, was there any other vehicles around at that point? Miss Campbell said no. Officer 1 said no other vehicles, and Miss Campbell said, not that I remember. And Officer 1 said, okay, you said you were coming this way. There were vehicles in front of you? And Miss Campbell says, yeah, there was a white car that was in a ditch here. And then this one that was around there, this beat up one that was kind of even with this guy, was in a ditch on the right-hand side around the corner. So when you come around the corner on Highway 9, it was kind of in the grass right there. And Officer 1 says, what kind of car was this? This is the timestamp, 9:41 in this conversation. Miss Campbell says this was a beat up white 4-door.
I know which car she's talking about, but that car ain't nowhere near beat up. It's like a 2020 Altima.
Officer 1, did you see a silver pickup truck here anywhere? Miss Campbell, no, I didn't see a silver pickup truck anywhere.
Because they coached her, and when they coached her, they said black SUV, and it's not a black SUV. It's a silver, dark gray, like a blackish, silverish truck.
Officer 1 said, okay. Miss Campbell said, I never saw. There were only 2 pickup trucks there the whole time.
Bullshit.
Officer 1 said, when I say pickup truck, I'm talking about the little small one. And Miss Campbell said, no, I only saw 6 cars. I mean 3. Yeah, 6 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, me. That was all that was there. Officer 1, okay. Miss Campbell, there was nobody else. Officer 1, okay. But when you say you went down here in just a few minutes, Miss Campbell says, yeah. And Officer 1 says, and Miss Campbell says, yeah, the phone here. I can. So we can break it down. So 5:59, I called 911. Officer 1, may I see it? What? I am so confused. I'm so confused right now.
That's okay. I'm about to pull something up and show y'all something. Give me just a second.
So she goes on to say, yeah, 5:59, I called 911. The officer says, okay, so Jen, I'm assuming, is your friend. And Miss Campbell says, yep. And Officer 1 says, so you called 911. Looks like maybe you called your husband back at 6 o'clock. Miss Campbell said, yep. Then, and the officer says, then. And Miss Campbell said, I called from her driveway. Officer 1 says, all right, you got 3 on here. They must be pointing at a map. So we're going to check her and see outgoing calls. It don't break it down for you like an iPhone does it. So that would probably, what kind of phone is this? And she says, it's a Samsung Galaxy. And Officer 1 says, so the Samsung is going to say the last outgoing call to her was at 6:11, all right? And Miss Campbell says,
wait a second. Can you do your one in the chat thingy? I don't know how to word it, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about. Then you can. So to me, so the Samsung is going to say the last outgoing call to her was at 6:11. All right. Is he saying all right, like all right, we're done with this conversation? You and you didn't have to put a one in chat because now I'm really confused. Or is he saying all right, like all right, do you catch what I'm saying? Type of all right. See,
who
this
knows?
whole thing is weird.
Because we can't hear it.
Right.
I really wish we could hear it because I feel like listening to this would be so much more productive than me sitting here reading this, because this has got my mind over here is reeling.
Yep,
from reading this. But this is what got me right here. Miss Campbell says, and that's when I started, headed back up. And that's when I noticed that these cars were moved.
Yeah, and that's what's making me think that maybe this lady has, and that's why I don't want to go to, maybe she has, what's it called?
Dementia?
Yeah.
Alzheimer's?
Yeah. Whichever one makes you forget, like,
both of them make you forget, but I mean, I don't know. She said,
then she sent me a video. Her friend's
but look, then she says, and then she sent me a video of the cars being moved.
What the fuck?
Of the cars moved. And then Officer 1 says, oh, shucks, it closed on me.
I bet it did.
Oh.
I bet it did. This is a joke. And let me apologize ahead of time if, in fact, it comes out that maybe this woman doesn't, because I'm not a cruel person like that, you guys, and I never want to be. But if we're taking this at face value, she's full of shit.
This is crazy, y'all. And Kay Kanuga said she was born in 1967. It's unlikely she has dementia, but I just
And I'm
don't.
pretty sure
Something
she
is
don't.
wild
I'm just
about
doing,
this, though.
yeah, like
And
this
she's
is
saying
crazy.
that the trucks were moved because it looked like they had him blocked in. And I'm assuming she means him as in they had Scott blocked in.
Okay, but now I have one bigger question. You file a lawsuit against an attorney claiming that he made a mockery of you on social media, is basically in a roundabout way, correct? That's what it's saying. Am I right?
Yep.
What the flying fudgeroo does this? How is this evidence against him? Wouldn't you think? Let's be realistic. If I'm suing somebody because they've made a mockery of me on social media, which is what he claims in that report, social media, wouldn't you think that you would submit evidence of those social media posts? Because this ain't got shit to do with any. This right here happened before Tinsley even knew about this case. Hell, this happened before Scott's sister even knew that her brother had passed. So help me understand what this bullshit is. Because I see it as nothing but Weldon doing a damn smokescreen because he's getting scared. And it makes me just I have zero respect for this man. Zero. He could be on fire and I wouldn't throw a damn thing of alcohol on. I know I'd probably throw some alcohol on him because that'd make him go up and play. Yeah, whatever. But no, I have no respect for him. And if I did, I damn sure don't now. Because this is
look here. Look on down here in this statement. Okay, she's just talking about what he's wearing. He's got on a ball cap. He's got on his wife beater.
Everything that she could have seen in the video that's been all over the news.
So we get down here to this one section, and the office, she says, yeah, sorry, because what I saw in the windshield of the black truck as I drove by, steering column, bullet, 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 about like that. And the officer says, all right, and that's when you drove by. And Miss Campbell says, yes. And he said, the black truck the first time. And Miss Campbell says, the first time. And he says, so when you drove by the black truck the first time, you saw, yes, several bullet holes in the windshield. Yes. Okay. Because I was afraid I was going to catch one from behind at that point. So if she's talking bullet holes in the windshield, there's only one windshield that had 40 bullet holes in it. And that would have been Weldon's windshield. Because Scott's windshield did not have that. Correct?
Scott's windshield had one bullet hole in it, and it was from Weldon's gun.
Yes, not from him.
And here's another key piece that some of y'all might not.
But he says several bullet holes in the windshield. And she says right here, yes. The only truck with several bullet holes in the windshield was one truck only. And that would have been Weldon's. I'm so confused by this whole statement. I can't even wrap my head around this shit.
Me either. WELDONBOYD made a claim to his insurance company, and his insurance company got the case file and denied his claim. Denied it. And Scott wasn't that tall. I mean, he was a good, decent height, but he wasn't tall enough to where if she's coming from the opposite way that she would have been able, I mean, unless she's got x-ray glasses, because if he would have raised his gun the way she claims, she would have been able to see it because he was standing in front. He opened his truck door. He got out. He stood in front of it. When he turned around to get back in the truck, that's when they shot him in the back.
So, and look at this. She says, then I was afraid I was going to catch one from behind because there was already 4 bullet holes. And I know that he probably, if he had a gun like my husband, he probably has 10 or so in there.
Stupid lady.
What? And then the officer says, all right, when you said you saw the guy raise his arm, did he come just straight up with it? And Miss Campbell says and the officer says, was it some kind of exaggerated thing or anything? And Miss Campbell said, nope, he just went. And I guess she shows him some type of body movement, just like that, just straight up, like boom, 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 boom. And it could, just straight up. So you said he was kind of a stocky build. And she said, yeah, like a wrestler. All right. Like, so my son and my husband.
Please pull up a picture of Scott Spivey. Probably better from the bar that day.
She said he was built like a wrestler, like somebody that works out and takes care of their body.
This has got to be a joke. I swear I'm on Punk'd. I gotta be, because this
is a lot longer than I thought we was going to spend on this. I'm going to be honest with y'all, because I didn't realize this was going to be insane.
We can finish again Sunday if you want to, because I'm about to go for you I want the audio. Because it's what bothers me most about this is why is it Officer 1? Because there wasn't no Officer 2, and why is there not an officer's name anywhere on this document?
It's a good question. Probably because somebody else don't want to have to give up their job.
Or somebody made this shit up from the beginning.
And the funny thing is here in this particular section, she said he had gotten off 4 shots before I could get all the way through. But see, that didn't happen because even the shell casings after the whole event did not even, they proved that he only shot 1 time. So who was the 4 shots?
Not only that, but if you guys really stop and analyze the 911 call, if in fact Scott would have shot first, we should be able to hear that through that call. But we don't. We only hear the clicking of Weldon's gun because we know he had that silencer thing, which I guess is completely legal for him to have. But you hear the clicking of the trigger, and you hear the 911 operator say, are y'all shooting? You never hear a shot that we should have heard if Scott would have shot first.
Yeah, this is crazy. And then she goes on to say, so the one thing that I noticed was that by the time I got here, she must be pointing at the map, I looked over and that's what I saw, the windshield, which I'm assuming is Weldon's truck. And that's when I knew he was dead, because he didn't survive that unless he was blank, inaudible. But I didn't see him slumped over either.
Okay, let's stop right there. Can you please show an image of how the trucks work? Because there's a bunch of them online. Because here's my thing. The truck door of Scott Spivey was open the entire time, even when he jumped back in his vehicle and was shot in the back. If she was coming the opposite way into the line of fire towards Highway 9, she would have looked over and been face to face with the fact that Scott was laying dead, slumped over in his truck. So she's a damn liar. Weldon never opened his door. Scott did. Have any of you guys ever seen a document like this that wouldn't have, I could understand if there was more than one officer in the interview, but clearly there wasn't because it's Officer 1 throughout the whole thing. It doesn't seem weird to y'all that there's no officer's name on this paper?
I don't know why their truck is in the middle of the road right here.
That's not their truck. That's the police car. His truck's the one up there with the trailer on it.
No, that's what I mean. Why he's in the middle of the road with the trailer? Wasn't they pulled
Because
on the
he
side of the
turned
road?
down. No, he turned down behind Scott. Instead of going straight home, he lives off Highway 9, you
No, but
know.
I'm saying, why is he in the middle of the road? Didn't they pull off on the side of the road?
No,
No,
none
they
of the
just
big
stopped
trucks.
in the road.
Right. And the only truck that pulled off to the side was that white SUV.
All right, let me see if I can find another one.
I really want to know who the hell Officer 1 is. She said fake ones. Right? Because everybody keep in mind this interview has happened before even the other man was fired. The other officer, I can't remember his name, but he was fired for that note, act like a victim. And then Strickland, he resigned because he knew he was going to end up getting fired. So we don't know who this officer is taking this interview. It could have been either one of them.
Isn't that the front of his truck? Scott's?
That's the front of Scott's truck, yeah. And Weldon is behind him. So
If
she would have
you're
been
coming
coming in
from,
this direction.
if you're coming from if you're coming toward number 9, you would be looking at the front of his truck. So how are you going to see Scott holding a gun and firing it because he's in front of his door?
Not just that, but how are you going to pass by and not see him slumped over?
Oh Lord.
She's this lady is batshit crazy. I mean, yeah.
Jesus. I can't even make this make sense. Trying to see if I can find any other ones. There's me and Shay at the county council meeting. Oh, that's an interesting photo. Here they are sitting on the back of their trailer. Notice Highway 9 right here. Do y'all see Highway 9?
And that right there where your mouse is doing that is where that white car she's talking about ends up showing back up. That's where it parked. Proving again that it wasn't
So
there.
look where this trailer is. They literally just turned off a Highway 9 and stopped in the road. Remember where Honey Jar was? Way on up the road. How are you going to know that you see somebody get out and is shooting somebody all the way up the road, which is a mile up the road? Like, how do you see that? That don't even make any sense. I swear, this aggravates me to no end. All right, hang on. Let me get back over here. I'm going to see if I can pull up this again. And Well, I was hoping there was going to be a better... Okay, hang on. Here we go.
So I just completed the FOIA request for the audio.
Okay. Dismiss. Okay. So here we are. Highway 9, and stopped in the road. Right, he turned off. You could see Highway 9 from that one shot because they were in the road right here. Let's go on down Camp Swamp. Out, growing over the road. Y'all see that, right? Here's Honey Jar right here, all the way up here. She said when she got to Honey Jar, she could see him from all the way up here at Honey Jar. She could see Scott standing out there and that he shot 4 times. You see how that don't make any sense? The math is not mathing for me at all. Hey, Paula. Okay, so I just had to show y'all that. Now, let's get over here and look at this. Oh, Lord, if I got too many things open at one time. Hold on, we might go to the moon. Everybody put your seatbelt on. Ah, okay, here we go. You see all them gunshot wounds out the front? You know whose truck that is right there. Here's number 9. Do y'all see number 9 back here? They are literally right off number 9 on Camp Swamp Road. And you should be able to unmute, AJ. I don't think you're going to echo. But y'all, you see that? Look, here's number 9 right here. So see, they weren't all the way up.
There's the silver truck I was talking about. See it?
Right there.
Hey, but you ain't gonna see no damn black SUV. They coached her wrong.
Look right there. This is from inside of WELDONBOYD's truck. And there's Scott Spivey's truck right there. This means Catherine Campbell would have been coming from up here. How is she going to... Scott Spivey was standing right here on the inside of his door. How was she going to see him hold his weapon up and fire the gun all the way from up here at Honey Jar? Y'all seen how far away that was. This does not, this story does not align at all. And also, according to her, they moved the trucks. That's what she said in her statement, that when she came back, the trucks were moved.
In which we also have like 4.5 hours of body cam footage that was nowhere to be found, you know?
Yes, there was close to 5 hours of body cam footage that was supposedly not recorded, according to the police department. Conveniently. Of course, after what Paul Vescovi told Weldon to act like a victim, which I showed earlier right here, wasn't that enough? Can you imagine what the other 5 hours of body cam footage might have shown? No wonder they turned their body cam footage off,
Yeah,
because
they definitely turned them off because there's this, which is before, and we also have body cam footage of the ending of it and stuff. So they definitely powered them off purposely.
Pam, it's good to see you. It looks like that what he has listed in his exhibits is a written verbatim statement of the 911 calls and this lady's statement, which is very weird because I can't imagine this goes in his favor because none of it makes any sense. Kay, it is so dirty, and I can't even wrap my head around it at this point. It's so crazy. It's hard for me to even process it. Let's see if we can pull up any other pictures. There's another one right here. I don't know. Y'all might not be able to see that. I may have to share my whole screen. Hang on. Let's see if it's got any photos attached to this. Oh, I don't see it in there. The picture that I was looking for. Wait a minute, there might be some right here. Yep, there's one that we seen with Weldon. There's his sister, Scott Spivey's sister. There is Scott Spivey's truck. And his mother. There is once it became dark on the scene on Camp Swamp Road. There is Weldon and Bradley talking to Paul Vescovi. See, there's number 9 right there. See, they literally are right off just at the very beginning of Camp Swamp Road. You're welcome, Pam.
Just give me 3-4 minutes. I got to let the puppy out.
Okay.
Okay.
That's one of the shots in Scott Spivey's truck right there. There's his sister and his mother. I can't even imagine what they must be feeling right now. There's another picture of the scene. That's actually on Highway 9, turning on the Camp Swamp Road where that fire truck is, where those officers are standing. That's actually right out on Highway 9. The math ain't mathin', y'all. Weldon's just mad because he was outed. Because had everybody stayed silent, Weldon might actually have gotten away with this. That's what Weldon's mad about. I hope people will just know who they're dealing with. Because it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. You know what I mean? It really disgusts me because this is happening in my own community. See, and you can see in this particular picture right there, see the cars coming down Camp Swamp right there? See, they're literally stopped in the road. Scott's truck is right up here. And I guess that's Weldon at the police department explaining his part of the story.
Interview. That's his interview. It's the craziest thing I ever seen.
Yeah, there's Vescovi right there. He's the one that got fired. For telling him to act like a victim. Well, hopefully AJ will be able to get the FOIA. Because that's really what we need, is we need to be able to hear all of this, because to walk back Catherine Campbell's statements and make it make sense, we really need to be able to hear Catherine Campbell's statement. I'd like to be able to hear the 911 call that she made, because I was never given that 911 call. I never heard a 911 call that came from somebody who was supposedly a former paramedic that reported a description of the person that made 4 shots. She says that she told the dispatcher that. I've heard all the 911 calls, and that call was not one of the calls that I was ever given. It was not released publicly. So we're going to need to try to get that call and see if we can come back and piece this together. But I did want to let you guys know about this lawsuit. If you're just getting here, we did go over some of that. And we did go over, what was in the exhibit. There was 2 exhibits, which is the 911 calls that were actually written out. And then this exhibit of Catherine Campbell's interview, which we don't know who Catherine Campbell is. So hopefully we'll be able to get some more information via FOIA. And as soon as we can obtain that, we'll have another live stream, and we will walk all of that back for you guys and keep you informed about what's going on in Scott Spivey's case. So, but I do appreciate you guys taking your time out of your Thursday evening to join us, for us to bring you this information, and any updates that we get about this filing against Mark Tinsley involving WELDONBOYD. we will certainly keep you updated. And as soon as we have obtained the FOIA, gone over it, and got all of the information that we need, then I will let you guys know when we will have another live stream to break it down and discuss it with you guys, and we'll take questions. Does that sound okay with you?
This is all downloaded directly from the Horry County, Horry County court website. These documents, every document you see here, you can go download for free directly from the website. But yes. I did complete the FOIA, so as soon as I have it, Duchess, I will get it over to you.
Okay, that sounds good. Guys, if you will please like this stream and share it out. And again, I will add this to the playlist under crime and corruption. If you are not familiar with the Scott Spivey case, I encourage you to go back and watch our previous live streams involving the Scott Spivey WELDONBOYD case here. This case is another one that is local to me, that happened just 5 miles from my house, is where this chase, this pursuit began, was just 5 miles from where I live. And it came with deadly consequences. And we're going to, keep you guys informed about what's happening in this case. And I just appreciate you guys taking the time to join me. And thank you guys for, Tia Dash, thank you for becoming a new member. And thank you, Mi Cazador de Artillas, for also becoming a member and your cute little puppy. I really appreciate you both joining up to the Dutch bus.
Seatbelts, everyone! Double Dutch bus coming down the street.
I appreciate it so very much. I hope everybody has a wonderful Thursday. We're almost to the weekend. So y'all stay safe out there, and I will catch you guys on the next one. And I will have that uploaded on Facebook as well as on my YouTube community wall. So make sure you follow me over there so you can get all the latest updates.
And Duchess, thank you. I know that this was kind of last minute, and I so appreciate you just throwing this together for me.
Yeah, it's no problem at all. Thank you for being here, and I'm glad you made it home safe. And just send me everything you have, and we'll catch up on it, and we'll get another live stream scheduled.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Good night, you guys.
Good night, everybody. Y'all take care. I'll see you guys later. Bye now.
Beep, beep.